I have a Gumbie cat in mind. Her name is Jenny Anydots. Her coat is of the tabby kind, with tiger stripes and leopard spots. All day she sits upon the stair, or on the steps, or on the mat. She sits and sits and sits and sits, and that's what makes a Gumbie cat. But when the day's hustle and bustle is done, then the Gumbie cat's work is but hardly begun. And when all the family's in bed and asleep, she tucks up her skirts to the basement to creep. She is deeply concerned with the ways of the mice. Their behaviour's not good, and their manners not nice. So when she has got them lined up on the matting, she teaches them music, crocheting and tatting. I have a Gumbie cat in mind. Her name is Jenny Anydots. Her equal would be hard to find. She likes the warm and sunny spots. All day she sits besides the hearth, or on the bed, or on my hat. She sits and sits and sits and sits, and that's what makes a Gumbie cat. But when the day's hustle and bustle is done, then the Gumbie cat's work is but hardly begun. As she finds that the mice will not ever keep quiet, she is sure it is due to irregular diet. And believing that nothing is done without trying, she sets right to work with her baking and frying. She makes them a mouse cake of bread and dried peas, and a beautiful fry of lean bacon and cheese. I have a Gumbie cat in mind. Her name is Jenny Anydots. The curtain cord she likes to wind and tie it into sailor knots. She sits upon the window sill, or anything that's smooth and flat. She sits and sits and sits and sits, and that's what makes a Gumbie cat. But when the day's hustle and bustle is done, then when the Gumbie cat's work is but hardly begun, she thinks that the cockroaches just need employment to prevent them from idle and wanton destroyment. So she's formed from that lot of disorderly louts a troop of well-disciplined, helpful Boy Scouts. With a purpose in life and a good deed to do, she's even created a beetle's tattoo. So for old Gumbie cats, let us now give 3 cheers, on whom well-ordered households depend, it appears.